Okay, so welcome. We're here for the Working Minds Gibraltar group, and today we have the pleasure of speaking to Lourdes Barea. She is the HR director for the Bassadone Automotive group, and she has a wealth of experience around well-being and supporting their people in helping them to get the best out of their work and their life and increasing their well-being. So welcome, Lourdes, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you for inviting me, Kristen.
No, pleasure. So the first question I have is around why do you think, or your company thinks, that it is so valuable to support people and increase their well-being?
Well, apart from the fact that it's our duty of care to care for our employees, we do believe that they're the most important assets for any organization. So to have people working with us that are healthy, physically, mentally, and are happy in their work environment means a happy workforce, a more productive workforce, and of course, in any business, definitely makes us more successful. The happier people are, the more productive they are, and the more successful generally is the company. One of the phrases that I really like is an old phrase from Henry Ford, from Ford Motors in the US, and he always said that you can take down my factories, you can take down my buildings, and if you give me my people, I can build it all again. So the focus was on the people as well.
Wow, that's really powerful, actually.
It is very powerful, and it always stays in my mind, because with your people, you can always start again.
I love that. Now, Lourdes, I'm tempted to jump straight into and asking you the question, what you find are the impacts that your company has experienced by supporting them. But I'm aware that people that will listen to this may not know the extent of what you offer for your people. So would you mind just giving a brief recap of what the initiatives are, or what the things are that Bassadone Automotive Group are doing to support their people?
Well, we look at 3 areas, which is physical, social, and mental health and well-being. So in terms of physical, we offer annual health checks, eye tests, hearing tests, because we've got about 10 workshops now. And of course, we check the hearing. So in terms of physical in that area, we have that as a benefit for employees. We also have a medical allowance to help them outside the company with, for example, physiotherapy or dentists or whatever they want to use it for, to be honest. That's in terms of physicals. We also help subsidize gym membership. So if people want to go to a gym for whatever reason, yes, plus some social events like walking around the rock for different charities. So in terms of physical, we have quite a lot of stuff going on. Some of the physical stuff overlaps with the social and mental as well. So lots of our social activities, which could be physical as well, to promote team working, to promote people so that they know that social aspect of the company, about what other people do in other parts of the group. Because we've grown a bit, we've grown to, this year I think we're going to hit the 300 mark, which is a very large company for Gibraltar standards. So in terms of, we've got lots of social. We've got a CSR committee that does different events, charitable events during the year. So again, it overlaps with physical, mental, and social. So it's very important for us. We also have, for mental and stress, we bring lunchtime talks. We've had about 10 in last year, with a range from, for example, breast cancer awareness, prostate awareness, the Citizen Advice Bureau, stress, yoga, mindfulness, so a whole range. And we ask people what they want me to bring, what do they need, and they give me suggestions, and I contact excuse me, whoever is leading on that. I've brought in trainers like physical trainers, nutritionists, so all that anybody can attend. And we provide a lunchtime talk that takes no more than 2 hours. Plus, we rolled out a yoga and mindfulness program, 12 weeks this year, which was very popular, and we're rolling it out again next year from January, another 12-week program. And it's done in our premises lunchtime, and it's for all. You don't have to be a yogi expert, right? You can do Amcha yoga, whatever you can, whatever you can. So, out of my head, I think that's more or less what we all do, no? We offer to our employees. Sorry, I couldn't stop.
It sounds like there is really quite a lot there that you offer, and it sounds like there's a whole variety and a whole range of different things, and you're really listening to your people and consulting them in what it is that they want or want to explore or try out. It'd be really a question.
Sorry, because I was just thinking, one of the most popular things that we added, which maybe it sounds a bit funny, which is we give them half a day off for their birthday.
Okay, yes.
You can't imagine how they love that. Even after all the benefits, that one they absolutely love.
Wow.
So they come in on their birthday and they can leave a one to do whatever they like. So it's like an added annual leave in a way.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So they really seem to enjoy that and look forward to it.
Yeah, I guess they can spend their birthday with their friends or their family or their children or whoever, or doing whatever they choose to do, which is wonderful. Yeah. Well, it's interesting you're saying that, you know, that's the most popular thing and people find the most value in that. And I can really see the value in, you know, having time on a special day to spend it with your loved ones, or spending it doing what you love. Is there an initiative or a program or something that you've offered that you felt wasn't as valuable or wasn't so impactful or wasn't as popular? You know, because obviously we're going to have people listening to this, and sort of sometimes it's very helpful to know where we maybe don't need to spend so much energy because someone else has tried it out, it didn't work so well, and actually let's focus our energy somewhere else. Is there anything you'd say that wasn't so good?
No, the only thing I would say was that at the beginning we tried to include like a social event a month, for example, after work. That wasn't that popular because we've got lots of people who are frontier workers, and to go home and then come back so frequently, that wasn't possible. So we thought again and said, no, we're going to offer some 3 or 4 events a year. You know, and we're going to link it to a charity that people request. So a charity that's close to people's hearts. And so that's what we do now. So every social event is linked to a particular charity, and we get money for that charity. So we choose from what people tell us 3 or 4 charities a year, and that's what we aim to do. And now we found that the most popular social events are Tablita, Tablita, which is a to Ludo, that's popular. The treasure hunt is very popular. Bowling, and sometimes the quiz nights. And more or less we do that every year, plus one of my colleagues does like a health week. So we bring food for a day, another day we may bring spinning machines down here, and we do lunchtime spinning, and we call it money, and it's like a healthy physical and mental week. Another day we do, we brought Melanie Scheller up, and she did like how to release stress in terms of breathing, etc. So we do quite a lot of things like that, but we've reduced it. It's not once a month anymore.
Yes.
We also collect money for our dress down days every Friday, and staff choose the charity.
Okay. And you found when you were doing the social events that doing them right after work or during the day would make them more accessible for people, and that was more successful than doing a social event after work where there was a gap between leaving home, going home, and then coming back.
Definitely, especially because I would say about 100 of our staff members, maybe even more now, because we've just recruited quite a big number, are frontier workers. For them to go home and then cross the frontier again is a bit of a hassle. Sometimes for our workshops, we do a barbecue just after work. So they finish earlier because we ship our cars to the frontier. Frontier closes at 2:30. So we may do a barbecue at 3. So they
Yeah.
stay until 5 and then go. And that is very popular as well.
Okay, nice, nice. And so what I'm really interested in is what is the value for the company in doing all of this? Because it's a lot of work, what I'm hearing you're doing, and a lot of effort, and constantly thinking of new ideas and new initiatives,
Yes.
and listening to the people. That's a lot of time and effort. And what are the benefits for the company of doing that?
I can only put it simply, really. The benefits are the company is very successful. Again, even with all the problems with Brexit and everything. I mean, we've increased our complement this year by 25%, and it's been internal growth because of bigger contracts that we've attained. And I think it's because people give that discretionary effort, because people feel engaged with the company and give that extra. Because we wouldn't be this successful if we went for all our staff who work hard and and do all this stuff to make us successful. We've got a great CEO who's very forward thinking and is excellent. Him on his own couldn't do it. So he has a strong leadership team that engages with the staff, and staff become more productive. They either have to stay late, they stay, they have to work through lunch because they want to. They want to see that success. I mean, it's not perfect. Of course, you have little pockets here and there, whatever. But generally, I would say that staff are generally highly engaged within the group. And that's what we want, no? That engagement with staff. So that we are all successful. If the company is successful, we are all successful.
Yeah, and it's lovely, because what I'm hearing you saying is that it's a giving and a taking from both sides. So the company is making more effort in providing things that helps people to have a good experience of coming to work, and in turn, if the company needs its people, more on occasion to work extra or to just put in a bit of extra effort, people are happy to do so, because it doesn't feel like it's one way. It's a genuine supporting one another, having a common goal, moving forwards and being successful and doing a good job, and not just one pulling the other.
We have a recognition scheme internal that's similar to Facebook, which is very easy to use. The business Facebook, if you can call it. It's called Yama. And we have a shout scheme, so people can shout out and then they are rewarded. We've got like a catalog of rewards, and people choose what they want to be rewarded with. Long service awards, for example, every 10 years, and after every 5, you are again rewarded for your length of service. So apart from all the benefits, there is a reward system in place to reward people. And for example, next week we are all going, the 300 of us, to Bruno's. Bruno's closes down for us. And it's just a celebration of everybody finishes at 3 that day and goes to celebrate together the success of the year, which has been thankfully really successful as well this year. So we do lots of things like that as well. And people seem engaged and happy.
So Lourdes, would you say that there is a direct correlation between taking care of your people and the profitability and the success of a company?
Definitely. I would 100% think that is a direct correlation. And I think, for example, our managers here have been here from 15 years onwards.
Wow.
I mean, so I think that tells you a lot as well, no? That there's a strong management team who knows the company well, and we are always focused on development of people. Now we're going through another leadership development area in coaching. So we want our managers to be better coaches. That's a focus for this coming year. So we want them to be coaches for agility, for engagement. So that will probably help us engage and relate to our teams as well. It's a big focus of that.
And what you're saying there around coaching, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but so I'm a coach, and the way I see coaching is very much like, you know, we're working from where we are to a goal. So we're looking to create something in the future with a specific outcome in mind. And to me, that is something that's more on the side of preventative, so that we're working on the side of the spectrum where we're looking at how can we help people to thrive? How can we upskill people? How can we do things in a better way, in a way that is, you know, simpler and not more complex, etc. And by doing that, the way I see it is that people don't end up down the other side of the spectrum where perhaps there's burnout or breakdowns, etc. And would you say that that's sort of what you're trying to do with the, you know, becoming better coaches to really lead your teams on that side of the spectrum?
Yes, I agree completely. That's what we want. No, we want to develop staff. It's even part of our vision, no? To be the best they can be in their roles. Some people don't want progression. They just want to be good at what they do and maybe add on projects or do other stuff, but maybe they don't want to go up. Some do. Some want a career within the group, you know. It helps with succession planning as well, to see what people want for their future. So that's for me, the key coaching that you've explained so well. And it's asking the right questions. Sometimes you actually asking questions of your team and you're coaching, but the team doesn't realize that you're actually coaching, because you're sort of coaching on the spot. You're not going to a room and say, okay, this is a coaching session now. It's how to ask questions of your team so that they find the answers themselves and go forward with it. So that's something we need to focus on more, apart from meetings or one-to-one, and that's on the go. Like when you're discussing something with a team member and you ask those questions that generate thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, so and that's very much around doing it in a team, in a group environment. Is that what you're saying? We lost Lourdes, so let's stop recording for a moment.